Hey, what is going on everyone? Welcome to another episode of Gamer Gains. So if you've been following me on my channel at all recently, you know that I've been highly anticipating the release of the Xbox Series X, and I was lucky enough to get a pre-order and actually pick mine up on launch day. So super excited about this. I've been playing it for the past week, and today I like to go through my first impressions and my overall feel of it after a whole week of playing. If you have any questions about the Xbox Series X that I don't cover in this video, feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you, and maybe I'll make a part 2 of this video to answer all of your questions. Overall, my impressions are very good for the Xbox Series X, but there are always going to be a few things that could use improvement. So make sure to watch the whole video all the way through and leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. Stay tuned. So starting off with the physical first impressions of the Series X, I think this thing looks really nice. It matches the aesthetic of my entertainment system and it fits in pretty well. I did have a bit of a hard time deciding where to put it because there wasn't quite enough space to rest it next to my TV. And the green coloration on the top vent looks really cool, and overall it feels like a shiny new piece of next-gen hardware while staying mindful of the amount of physical space that it takes up. Next, let's talk about the controller because I don't really hear many people talking about it. I'd say I have about 20 to 30 hours of game time now with the new Series X controller, and the Xbox team has made a few minor tweaks to the original Xbox One controller. Now personally, the Xbox One controller was extremely comfortable for me and I didn't really see many problems with it, but they managed to make a few changes that overall improve it on an already winning formula. Firstly, they made the new controller smaller, and it's hard to tell by looking at it, but I'd say the thing is about 5 to 10% smaller than the Xbox One controller. Also, the face buttons are more clicky than before, and they feel like they won't eat your inputs as much once this thing gets a few years of use. Also, the triggers now have little textured bits to prevent slipping when your hands are covered in Mountain Dew and Doritos gunk after a long day of gaming. But seriously, the triggers do feel really nice, but I think one thing that they might have messed up on is the haptic feedback in the triggers. With the Xbox One controller, playing a game like Forza, you could really feel the haptic feedback in the triggers while accelerating, but they seem to have toned this down quite a bit. And finally, the share button is a small but great addition to let you capture a screenshot or game clip in the heat of a moment rather than fumbling through a few menus during a live multiplayer game. And now for the console itself, this thing is insanely fast. And for reference, I'm coming from the original Xbox One, so this really is a huge upgrade for me. The buzzwords like quick resume and smart delivery kind of seemed gimmicky at first, but they actually really help this thing fly through any command that you give it. Navigating the UI is extremely smooth, and booting up a new game now takes seconds down from the Xbox One's many minutes. There are also new dynamic themes and backgrounds that you can customize your dashboard with, which also gives it a fresh new feel. So now moving on to some gameplay. The main games I've played this week are Apex Legends, Warzone, Halo 5, and Gears 5. Call of Duty and Apex Legends received optimizations for Series X and feel like totally brand new games compared to their Xbox One counterparts. The 120 frames per second is insane, and I have yet to experience a frame drop, while they were pretty routine on the Xbox One when encountering a big fight. There's little to no pop-in, and textures load basically instantly, which makes the game feels so much more polished and enjoyable. And finally, the one thing that is left to be desired are some next-gen games. Unfortunately, due to COVID and other development issues, many of the huge next-gen launch titles like Halo and Cyberpunk have been delayed. And this really dampens the next-gen experience just a bit, but I know that in time, new games will come out and will boost the console to its full potential. And I haven't bought any of the other new games yet, like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, so my only big Series X optimized game has been Gears 5, which does look phenomenal and plays great at 120 FPS. But it still is a bit sad to be missing out on some of those really big heavy hitter launch titles right at the gate. So anyway, those are my first impressions of the Xbox Series X after 1 week, and overall, I would say it's been a very positive experience so far. If you have any questions about the Xbox Series X, make sure to comment below and I will get back to you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure to like and subscribe before you go. Thanks.